Welcome to today's speech, where we dive into a topic that can change how you approach your relationships and interactions. We all want to be helpful and supportive, but have you ever found yourself feeling drained, frustrated, or unappreciated after trying to assist someone? It's time to take a hard look at the types of people we often feel compelled to help and recognize that not everyone deserves our time and energy. In life, we encounter various individuals, and while many are genuinely deserving of our support, some can be toxic, draining, or even harmful. Today, we'll explore 9 types of people you should think twice about helping. By the end of this speech, you'll gain valuable insights into how to protect your well-being and focus your efforts on relationships that lift you up rather than drag you down. So, if you're ready to learn about the red flags to watch for and how to set boundaries, let's get started on this journey toward healthier relationships and personal empowerment. Your time and energy are precious. Let's learn how to invest them wisely. Number 1, perpetual victim. People who always blame others for their problems and refuse to take responsibility for their own lives. Think about someone you know who always says, "It's not my fault." This person often plays the victim. They have a story for every problem. Maybe they complain about their job, saying their boss is unfair. Or perhaps they talk about how their friends never support them. No matter what happens, they find a way to blame someone else. This behavior can be very frustrating for those around them. You genuinely want to help them because you care. You might say, "Have you thought about looking for a new job?" Or "Why don't you talk to your friend about how you feel?" You give them advice because you want to see them happy. But here's the catch. They rarely listen. Instead of taking your advice, they stick to their complaints. They refuse to take responsibility for their choices or actions. They stay stuck in a cycle of blame, and this can be exhausting. Every time you try to help, it feels like you are wasting your time. You invest your energy and your heart into helping them, but they do not change. You begin to wonder if your efforts matter at all. You might even feel angry at them for not trying to help themselves. You start to feel frustrated because you care so much, but they don't seem to care at all. This situation can leave you feeling drained and upset. You might ask yourself, why can't they see what they are doing? When you let them keep blaming others, you've become part of the problem. Their negativity can rub off on you. You may start feeling tired, unhappy, and even hopeless. It is important to realize that this is not fair to you. You deserve to be around people who uplift you, not those who pull you down. Now, here is the tough truth you need to accept. You cannot save someone who does not want to be saved. This is a hard lesson, but it is necessary. You need to be strong. Set clear boundaries for how much time and energy you give to this person. This means you have to take a step back and ask yourself some important questions. Are they truly ready to change, or are they just looking for someone to blame? If the answer is the latter, then it is time to walk away. Walking away does not mean you do not care about them. It means you recognize that you cannot fix someone who is not willing to help themselves. This is a crucial step for your own mental health. Instead, focus your energy on people who genuinely want to improve their lives. Look for those who are ready to take action and make positive changes. These people will appreciate your help and support. They will work hard to grow and become better versions of themselves. This will make your efforts feel worthwhile. Remember, saying no is not being mean. It is an important part of taking care of yourself. By saying no to the perpetual victim, you are actually helping both of you. You give them the chance to face their own problems and learn to find their own solutions. They need to understand that they are responsible for their choices. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you step back, you give them space to confront their reality. This allows them to learn important lessons about life. They can grow stronger and more independent. Stepping away can be hard, but it is sometimes the best choice. You are not abandoning them. You are giving them a chance to grow. This may even inspire them to take charge of their life and make changes. Number 2, the chronic complainer. Those who constantly complain but never take action to change their situation. Consider someone in your life who always complains. This person finds something wrong with everything. They complain about their job, their relationships, or even the weather. No matter what happens, they have something negative to say. You might have tried to cheer them up by pointing out the good things in their life, but it feels like they ignore everything you say. They focus on the bad and make it seem like the world is against them. When you listen to a chronic complainer, it can be draining. You might start to feel their negativity weigh you down. You want to help, but every conversation turns into a long list of complaints. It feels like a heavy cloud hanging over you. You might even leave a conversation feeling worse than before. This is not just annoying, it can have a serious impact on your mood and outlook on life. If you continue to engage with a chronic complainer, you might find yourself stuck in their negativity. You could begin to see the world through their eyes. You might start to notice the negative in your own life. This can lead to a negative mindset that affects your happiness. It's easy to get caught up in their complaints and forget about the good things in your own life. This is dangerous because it can change your perspective and make you feel unhappy. Now, here's the hard truth. You cannot help someone who only wants to complain. They are not looking for solutions. They just want to vent and stay stuck in their problems. You need to be strong enough to recognize this and set boundaries. It is essential to limit how much time you spend listening to their complaints. Instead of getting pulled into their negativity, try to change the subject. When they start to complain, redirect the conversation to something positive. You might say, "I understand you're frustrated, but let's talk about something good that happened this week." This approach can help shift their focus and lighten the mood. If they resist and continue to complain, it's okay to tell them you need to take a break from these conversations. You can say something like, "I care about you, but I can't keep talking about the negatives all the time. Let's find a way to focus on solutions." Remember, it is not your job to fix their problems. You can support them, but you must also take care of yourself. Surround yourself with people who are positive and uplifting. These are the individuals who will inspire you and help you grow. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By stepping away from the chronic complainer, you are protecting your own happiness." You give yourself the chance to focus on the positive aspects of life and maintain a healthier mindset. Number 3, the manipulator. Individuals who use emotional tactics to exploit your kindness without genuine gratitude. Think about someone who always seems to play with your emotions. This person uses guilt or sympathy to get what they want. They might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would help me," or "I've been through so much, can't you just do this one thing for me?" They make you feel responsible for their happiness. This can be very confusing and exhausting. When you engage with a manipulator, it can feel like you are walking on eggshells. You want to be kind, but their tactics make you feel uncomfortable. You might find yourself doing things you don't want to do, simply to avoid their disappointment. You may even feel bad if you say no, thinking that you are a bad friend or person. Over time, this can build resentment. You may start to feel trapped in the relationship, like you are always giving and never receiving. This is not a healthy dynamic. The more you give in to their manipulation, the more they expect. They may not appreciate your help. Instead, they see it as something you owe them. This can lead to a cycle where you feel used and taken for granted. You might begin to question your self-worth. You might wonder, am I only valued for what I can give now? Here is the hard truth. You must recognize manipulation for what it is. It is not love, it is control. You cannot help someone who does not appreciate your kindness. Instead, they will continue to use you to get what they want. You need to set clear boundaries. To protect yourself, it is important to be assertive. When they make manipulative comments, stand your ground. You can say something like, I care about you, but I can't do everything you ask. I have my own responsibilities. This shows that you will not allow them to manipulate you anymore. When you refuse to be manipulated, you take back control of your own life. You allow yourself to focus on relationships that are healthy and reciprocal. Seek out friends who appreciate you for who you are, not just for what you can do for them. These relationships will be fulfilling and supportive. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster by standing up to manipulators. You protect yourself from losing your kindness and integrity. You show that you value yourself and will not let others take advantage of you. Taking a stand might feel uncomfortable at first, but it is necessary for your well-being. You deserve to be in relationships where there is mutual respect and appreciation. Number 4. The unwilling learner. People who resist advice or guidance even when it's in their best interest. Imagine someone in your life who never wants to learn from their mistakes. They might make the same bad choices over and over again, even when you offer them advice. You see them struggling, and you genuinely want to help. You might say, have you thought about what you could do differently this time? But instead of considering your advice, they dismiss it. They refuse to listen and insist they know better. This attitude can be incredibly frustrating. When you try to help an unwilling learner, it often feels like you are wasting your breath. They keep repeating the same patterns, ignoring the lessons life is trying to teach them. You might find yourself feeling angry or helpless. You want to see them succeed, but they resist every opportunity to grow. Their stubbornness can drag you down with them, making you feel frustrated and exhausted. The more you invest in trying to help them, the more you may start to feel drained. You may find that your own energy and positivity begin to fade. This is not just a minor annoyance, it can take a toll on your own mental health. You might even begin to doubt your own judgment. You may ask yourself, why can't they see what I see? Why won't they listen? Now here's the tough truth. You cannot help someone who refuses to learn. It is not your responsibility to change their mind or force them to grow. They have to want to learn and change for themselves. Continuing to engage with an unwilling learner can hold you back. You may find yourself stuck in their cycle of mistakes, feeling powerless and frustrated. To protect yourself, it is important to recognize when to step back. You need to set boundaries regarding how much time and energy you spend trying to help them. This means being honest with yourself about whether they are genuinely interested in making changes. If they are not, it's time to focus your energy elsewhere. Instead of getting pulled into their unwillingness to change, encourage them to seek help from professionals if necessary. You might suggest, have you thought about talking to a counselor? They might be able to help you see things differently. This shows that you care while also acknowledging that you cannot do the work for them. Surround yourself with people who are open to learning and growing. These individuals will inspire you and challenge you to be your best self. They will appreciate your support and actively work on improving their lives. This positive energy can be contagious and uplifting. As the philosopher Confucius said, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance by stepping away from the unwilling learner. You protect your own growth. You recognize that it is not your job to carry someone else's burden. You give yourself permission to focus on your own learning and development. Walking away does not mean you do not care about them. It means you respect their right to make their own choices. Sometimes stepping back allows them to face their own challenges and ultimately find their own way to learn. Number 5, the entitled. Those who believe they deserve your help without offering any effort or reciprocity in return. Think about someone who acts like they deserve your help without ever offering anything in return. This person might constantly ask for favors or support, expecting you to drop everything for them. They might say things like, "You should help me because we're friends." Or it's just what friends do. They believe that your time and energy are theirs for the taking, without any appreciation or acknowledgement of your efforts. When you engage with someone entitled, it can feel very one-sided. You might start to feel used and taken for granted. You want to help, but it feels like they never consider your needs. You may find yourself giving in to their demands, even when it's inconvenient for you. This situation can be exhausting and lead to resentment. Over time, you might notice that you are always the one giving while they take. This imbalance can make you feel frustrated and unappreciated. You might begin to think, "Why do I always have to do this? Why don't they ever think about what I need?" This kind of emotional drain is unhealthy and can affect your overall happiness. Now, here's the hard truth. You cannot allow someone's entitlement to dictate how you spend your time and energy. If you keep giving in to their demands, you enable their behavior. They will continue to expect your help without any effort on their part. It is essential to set clear boundaries with entitled individuals. Start by being assertive about your needs. If they ask for something that feels unreasonable, you can respond with, "I'm sorry, but I can't help with that right now. I have my own commitments." This lets them know that you value your time and cannot always be at their beck and call. Encourage them to take responsibility for their own needs. You might say, "I believe you can handle this. Have you thought about how you could solve this problem on your own?" This shifts the focus away from you and challenges them to think for themselves. It's important to surround yourself with people who appreciate your support and recognize your efforts. Look for friends who are willing to give just as much as they receive. These relationships will be more balanced and fulfilling, leading to a healthier dynamic for both of you. As the philosopher Ayn Rand said, "The question isn't who is going to let me. It's who is going to stop me by standing up to entitled individuals." You take control of your life and assert your right to set boundaries. You deserve to be in relationships that are mutual and respectful. Remember, saying no does not make you a bad person. It simply means you respect yourself enough to protect your time and energy. You are teaching them that your support is valuable and not something they can take for granted. Taking a stand may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is a necessary step toward healthier relationships. It allows you to create space for those who truly value your kindness and generosity. Number 6, the habitual taker. Individuals who only take from you but never contribute or give back. Consider someone who only seems to take from you without ever giving anything back. This person comes to you whenever they need something but disappears when you need support. They might borrow money, ask for favors, or seek advice, but when it's your turn to ask for help, they are nowhere to be found. It can feel like you are in a one-way relationship, where you are always giving, and they are always taking. When you engage with a habitual taker, it can quickly become draining. You might feel like you are being used, and that feeling can be infuriating. You may begin to question the value of your friendship. You could think, "Do they even care about me? Why don't they ever offer to help?" This imbalance creates frustration and resentment. Over time, you may find yourself feeling emotionally exhausted. The more you allow this behavior, the more it reinforces their sense of entitlement. They may come to expect your support without feeling any obligation to reciprocate. This can leave you feeling unappreciated and undervalued. You deserve to be in relationships where both parties support one another equally. Now, here's the tough truth. You cannot help someone who is only interested in taking from you. If you continue to give in to their demands, you enable their behavior. They will keep coming back for more, knowing you will always be there to meet their needs. To protect yourself, it's crucial to set clear boundaries. Be upfront about what you can and cannot do. For example, when they ask for help, you can respond with, "I wish I could help, but I can't right now." This sets a boundary and shows that you are not always available to meet their needs. Encourage them to find solutions on their own. You might say, "Have you thought about asking someone else?" I'm sure there are others who can help. This approach can shift the responsibility back to them, prompting them to find support outside of you. It's essential to surround yourself with people who are willing to contribute just as much as they take. Seek out friendships where there is mutual support and appreciation. These relationships will lift you up and inspire you to be your best self. As the philosopher Maya Angelou said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel by stepping away from habitual takers. You prioritize your well-being. You deserve to feel valued and respected in your relationships." Remember, it is okay to say no. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary for your mental health. When you set boundaries, you allow yourself to focus on relationships that nourish you rather than drain you. Taking a stand may feel difficult, but it is essential for your happiness. You are teaching others how to treat you by refusing to be taken advantage of. Number 7, the drama seeker. People who thrive on chaos and drag you into their endless cycles of unnecessary conflict. Think about someone in your life who thrives on chaos and drama. This person always seems to be in the middle of conflicts, whether it's with friends, family, or coworkers. They might share their latest drama with you, drawing you into their whirlwind of issues. They love to stir the pot and often create unnecessary conflict. It feels like they live for the drama and expect you to join in. When you engage with a drama seeker, you can quickly find yourself caught up in their chaotic world. They may call you with their latest crisis, and before you know it, you are wrapped up in their problems. You might feel compelled to help them sort out their issues, even when you have your own things to deal with. This can lead to emotional exhaustion and frustration. Over time, you may notice that their drama starts to affect your own life. You could find yourself feeling stressed and anxious, worrying about their constant crises. You might think, why can't they just handle their problems? Why do I have to be involved? This feeling of being overwhelmed can drain your energy and create tension in your own life. Now, here's the hard truth. You cannot save someone who thrives on drama. If you continue to engage with them, you enable their behavior. They will keep coming to you for support, dragging you into their chaos. It's essential to recognize that you are not responsible for their choices or their messes. To protect yourself, you need to set clear boundaries. When they reach out to share their latest drama, you can respond with something like, "I'm sorry you're going through this, but I can't get involved right now." This shows that you won't be dragged into their chaos. Encourage them to find solutions without your help. You might say, "Have you thought about how you could handle this situation on your own?" This redirects the focus away from you and prompts them to take responsibility for their own issues. Surround yourself with people who bring positivity and stability to your life. Look for friends who uplift you and focus on growth rather than drama. These relationships will foster a more peaceful and supportive environment. As the philosopher William Shakespeare said, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." By recognizing that you do not have to play a role in someone else's drama, you reclaim your time and energy. You deserve to be in relationships that are calm and nurturing. Remember, it is okay to distance yourself from the drama. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is essential for your well-being. When you set boundaries, you create space for healthy relationships that allow you to thrive. Taking a stand against drama seekers may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is a necessary step toward reclaiming your life. You are showing that you value your time and energy. Number 8, the self-destructive. Those who repeatedly engage in harmful behaviors ignore your attempts to help them improve. Think about someone who continuously engages in harmful behaviors. This person might have a pattern of making choices that hurt themselves, whether it's through addiction, toxic relationships, or self-sabotage. You care about them and want to help, but they often ignore your advice and continue down a destructive path. It's heartbreaking to watch someone you care about harm themselves, and you might feel frustrated and helpless. When you try to help a self-destructive person, it can feel like you are fighting a losing battle. You may find yourself repeating the same advice, hoping they will finally listen. You might say things like, "You need to stop hanging out with those friends." Or have you thought about getting professional help, but often your words fall on deaf ears? Instead of making changes, they continue to engage in behaviors that are harmful to their well-being. Over time, this cycle can take a significant toll on your mental health. You may feel overwhelmed by their choices, questioning your ability to help them. You might think, why won't they change? Why can't they see how their actions affect them? This emotional burden can weigh you down and make you feel powerless. Now, here's the hard truth. You cannot help someone who is determined to self-destruct. If you keep trying to save them, you may end up draining yourself emotionally and mentally. It is essential to recognize that their choices are ultimately theirs to make. You cannot change someone who is not ready to change. To protect yourself, it's crucial to set boundaries. When they reach out for help, you can say something like, "I care about you, but I can't keep watching you hurt yourself." This establishes a boundary and communicates that their choices are affecting you too. Encourage them to seek professional help. You might suggest, "Have you thought about talking to a therapist?" They could help you find better ways to cope. This approach shows that you care while also acknowledging that you cannot do the work for them. Focus your energy on supporting those who are actively working to improve their lives. Surround yourself with people who value their well-being and are committed to positive change. These relationships will inspire and uplift you rather than drain you. As the philosopher Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves by stepping away from the self-destructive individual. You prioritize your own growth and happiness. You recognize that you cannot carry the weight of their choices on your shoulders. Remember, it is okay to let go of someone who refuses to help themselves. Protecting your mental health is not selfish, it is necessary. When you set boundaries, you give yourself the opportunity to focus on your own well-being. Taking a stand against self-destructive behaviors may feel uncomfortable, but it is an essential step toward reclaiming your peace. You are teaching others that you value your own health and happiness. Number 9, the toxic critic. Individuals who undermine your efforts, criticize your help, and never appreciate your support. Imagine someone in your life who constantly undermines your efforts. This person seems to take pleasure in pointing out your mistakes or criticizing your choices. They might say things like, "You really messed that up," or "I can't believe you thought that would work." Their words cut deep, making you second-guess yourself and your abilities. You may feel like you are always walking on eggshells around them, fearing their judgment. When you engage with a toxic critic, it can take a serious toll on your self-esteem. You might start to doubt your skills and worth. Instead of feeling inspired to take action, you may feel paralyzed by their negativity. You could find yourself thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not good enough. This self-doubt can hold you back from pursuing your goals and dreams. Over time, the constant criticism can create a toxic environment You might feel drained and demoralized, always bracing for their next comment. Instead of being a source of support, they become a source of stress. You may think, why do I keep letting them affect me? I need to find a way to stop this. Now, here's the hard truth. You cannot allow someone's toxic criticism to dictate your self-worth. If you continue to engage with them, you reinforce their negative behavior. They will keep undermining your confidence, and you'll find it harder to believe in yourself. To protect yourself, it's essential to set clear boundaries. When they criticize you, you can respond with, I appreciate your input, but I need to focus on my goals without negativity. This statement communicates that you won't tolerate their harsh words. Consider limiting your interactions with them. If you find that their presence constantly brings you down, it's okay to distance yourself. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Seek out friends who celebrate your achievements and encourage you to grow. As the philosopher Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. By recognizing your value and refusing to accept their criticism, you reclaim your power. You deserve to be surrounded by positive influences that help you thrive. Remember, it is okay to walk away from toxic relationships. Protecting your mental health is not selfish, it is necessary for your growth. When you set boundaries, you create space for relationships that empower you rather than diminish you. Taking a stand against toxic critics may feel challenging, but it is a crucial step toward loving yourself and believing in your abilities. You are teaching others that you value respect and kindness in your interactions. With each lesson, you are learning to recognize the types of people who drain your energy and undermine your happiness. You deserve to invest your time and energy in relationships that lift you up and help you shine. This concludes the 9 types of people you should not help. Each lesson serves as a reminder to protect your time and energy, setting boundaries with those who do not appreciate or respect your efforts. We've explored how certain individuals can drain your energy, undermine your confidence, and create unnecessary chaos in your life. It's crucial to remember that while we all want to be kind and supportive, our time and energy are limited resources that deserve to be invested wisely. By recognizing the signs and setting boundaries, you can protect your well-being and foster healthier relationships. Remember, it's not selfish to prioritize yourself, it's essential for your growth and happiness. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who bring negativity and drama into your life. As you move forward, take these insights with you. Embrace the power of saying no when necessary, and choose to invest in relationships that enrich your life. Thank you for being here today, and I encourage you to reflect on these lessons. Let's continue to empower ourselves and each other as we create a more positive and fulfilling environment. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember to focus on the people who truly deserve your support and kindness.